Nowhere is Houston's urban progress more evident than on St. Emanuel Street in East Downtown. Over the past 20 years, this area has transformed from a gritty, half-inhabited industrial neighborhood to one of the most active streets in the city. But thanks to an ambitious and controversial highway widening plan that now seems inevitable, this entire half of the street, including entire blocks of bars, restaurants, and apartments totaling many millions of dollars, are about to be flattened, eaten up by a revamping of the city core's entire freeway system. Let's investigate the good and the bad of the $7 billion plan and the prospective impact on what's become one of Central Houston's most important neighborhoods. Since the Gulf Freeway was completed in 1952, Houston has been dictated by freeways. They determine the value of land, how the city expands, where buildings get built, and what places get demolished or divided. They also entirely encircle downtown, long dividing the city core from adjacent neighborhoods. There's no question that freeways are today a necessity for Houston, but the manner and location of them can be contentious. 20 years ago, as Houston eased out of the 90s oil slump, Eado was a gritty, bars-on-the-windows neighborhood on the edge of Houston's old and dying Chinatown. The opening of Minute Maid Park in 2000 on the site of Houston's former passenger rail yard increased the spotlight on East Downtown. The boarded warehouses and vacant lots just a few blocks away were primed for redevelopment. The first sign of things to come was the opening of the Lofts at the Ballpark in 2001, the first major multi-block residential development in East Downtown. The complex bridged St. Emanuel Street, the street one block east of 59 that would slowly become the place of music venues, bars, and restaurants as the dreams of the eado moniker were solidified. Warehouse Live opened in 2006, followed by a trickle of bars and restaurants dotting both St. Emanuel Street and the blocks further east. Now, nearly the entire street here is lined on both sides with vibrant businesses, and the district is a reliably busy and walkable area, long a dream of Eado's visionaries. I-45 through downtown Houston has been largely unchanged since it was completed. Dubbed the Pierce Elevated, this stretch of freeway has long been eyed for replacement by highway planners. It is also a source of blight and separation, working against an urbanist vision long held by city planners and developers of connecting downtown and midtown. Furthermore, a canyon of high-rise buildings make expansion unpopular and expensive here, so highway planners looked east. The existing path of 59 east of downtown is 8 lanes and half a city block wide, bounded on the east by Charter Street. It is elevated for most of this stretch with parking lots beneath serving the convention center and ballpark. The North Houston Highway Improvement Project is a massive federal and state undertaking replacing 45 from downtown up to the Beltway. Through downtown, the Pierce Elevated will be removed entirely and routed east the existing US 59 lanes, but that will not come easy. TxDOT's current layout calls for a behemoth 20-plus lane freeway eating up an entire block of additional width in East Downtown from the current I-45 up to I-10. And therein lies the problem for St. Emanuel Street. Every bar, restaurant, and store that makes up the west side of St. Emanuel will be scraped, lowered, and covered with pavement. Although the businesses on the east side will remain, their view is about to change. But that brings me to a potential good outcome for Eado, and one that garnered much attention in the news of the expansion. Central Houston, a group dedicated to the quality of life in downtown, has proposed covering the soon-to-be below-grade portion of 59 with a park, similar to Clyde Warren Park in Dallas. TxDOT has included the concrete structure above the freeway in their alignment map from Lamar to Commerce Street, although they will not be ponying up money for the park that will go on top. This could change the project from an eyesore to a feature, but it will not serve the entirety of the St. Emanuel Business District. There's also the civil rights issues. The progress of the NHHIP was once halted by the Federal Highway Administration over possible violations of the Civil Rights Act. There was also a lawsuit later dropped by Harris County citing similar concerns. All of this, however, ended with an accepted memoranda of understanding allowing the project to move forward. And demolition has already started. On the day I filmed, one of the 3 Lofts at the Ballpark blocks had been demolished already. And although not required by the widening plan, TxDOT opted to purchase the entire complex, and the remaining buildings are slated for demo. 1 block north, the historic Cheek Nail Coffee Building, whose renovation justified an article in the Chronicle 8 years ago, will be saved, but it will be wedged on an island between the new I-45 and St. Emanuel Street. We truly won't know the impact on the neighborhood until the project is completed. The construction process alone, which will likely take years, could greatly dampen the vibe of St. Emanuel Street. The completed project will be a mixed bag. A successful park atop the new highway would be a great asset for the neighborhood, but it will only cover a fraction of the new road, which will be 3 times the width of the current 59. On the other end of downtown, the Pierce Elevated, long considered an eyesore and an inhibitor to progress, would be entirely removed or converted into a Highline-style park. The freeway separating downtown from the adjacent dense and urban neighborhoods west and south will give this area a connection not seen since the 50s. Now, Edo as a whole will not die. St. Emanuel Street, though important to the fabric of the area, is a small part of what's been a rapidly gentrifying neighborhood of several square miles. But what's truly become a symbol of the possibilities of the Houston cityscape will be changed forever. Several businesses, including Toot Sweet, True Anomaly Brewing, Little Woodrow's, Neil's Bar, and Kobo's, will be demolished. It seems like no matter what we think of it, the 59 expansion is happening. Will it be a net benefit or a net negative for the city? Fight it out in the comments. And keep an eye over the next few years as TxDOT expands 59 into East Downtown. As always, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel and come with me on the next adventure.